Hey, Tamara here. Today's video is 7 tips for better digestion. So go ahead and take a seat and we'll get started. Stay tuned. Tip number 1 is pretty simple and it's something we all do every day, at least 3 times a day, and that is chew. But chew your food well. We've all probably used the phrase, "I was so hungry, I inhaled my food." And sometimes we do, and we don't break down the food in our mouth, which is what we're supposed to do. So by the time it goes down into our tummies, it's able to digest easier and the nutrients are more easily absorbed. So really, when you're eating, take note of the fact, are you just kind of chewing once and then swallowing, or chewing twice and swallowing? Chew your food a little bit more so that it is already broken down by the time it gets into your tummy. Tip number 2, add some ginger, real ginger, into your food and even into your drinks. So this does not mean drinking ginger ale, because a sugary soda is actually going to do more harm than good for our digestion. Even though if you're like me, when you were sick as a child, you were probably given like ginger ale to help your tummy, and it tasted great, but we want to be eating real ginger. You can find it at most grocery stores. It's pretty affordable, and one piece of it is gonna last you a really long time, and you only really need to use like a little slice, and you can throw it into like stir fries, soups. I made a chicken soup last night, and I just put some into my chicken soup. You can just drink it with some warm water, put it into your tea. Okay, so tip number 3 would be to do some yoga and or Pilates. Both of these exercises are great because you will find a lot of good abdominal work, a lot of good rotation and twisting, which is very helpful in aiding your digestion, and stretching. It can also be very calming and focusing on your breath. And breathing well is also very important to healthy digestion. I do have a Pilates for digestion video. You can go ahead and check that one out. There's a little bit of yoga kind of mixed into it too, so I'd encourage you to do that. So tip number 4 would be to eat more cooked foods. It's already being broken down, and it's going to be easier for your body to absorb that rather than having to go through all the work of breaking down a raw food, especially with meat, which some people have a hard time digesting. When you cook it in a slow cooker and it's been cooking for 8 hours, 12 hours, it's going to be a lot easier for your body to absorb that food. So I definitely encourage that. Soups also are really nice as well. Tip number 5 would be drink some warm water with lemon and ginger. Add in the ginger too. When we drink something cold, that can create kind of like restricting through our digestive system. Rather, warm water is going to let it relax more and be able to pass through our system a lot easier. So I typically will finish my evening with a cup of warm water with lemon. Sometimes a little honey too is nice, or a cup of warm tea with lemon, and it definitely helps me feel better the next day. Tip number 6, we are very familiar with probiotic foods. We hear about it a lot. So I definitely want to encourage you to do that. You can take a probiotic supplement or eat fermented probiotic foods, which is amazing. Things like yogurt and kefir, fermented vegetables. You can buy specifically like fermented pickles at the store, but you want to look for like live fermented pickles, not just like a jar that's been on the shelf. It's going to be in the refrigerated section. Your prebiotic foods are going to be full of fiber, so a lot of your fruits and your vegetables, things like that, eat those in every meal. If you can add in a probiotic food to every meal, that's like amazing. Sauerkraut's another really good one as well. You can also make them. You can totally explore doing that option as well. Or sourdough bread, oh, so good. You can make some sourdough bread. That would be amazing as well. That is a probiotic food and it's delicious. All right, and then my last tip for you would be to, I know this is not going to be a popular one, but cut back on the caffeine and the alcohol. Not fun, but effective. So when we are drinking too much caffeine and too much alcohol, it dehydrates our body, which just makes it very difficult for us to be able to have easy, good digestion. And it may not be forever, maybe just for a period of time. I had to cut out coffee for a little while because it was not working so great for me for a bunch of reasons. And I started drinking tea instead, still caffeinated, but less caffeine. And I found that my tummy was like super happy. That being said, I'm drinking coffee again, but I did it for a season. It was necessary and it was helpful. And I would do it again if need be. So those are your 7 tips. Chew your food, eat real ginger, do your yoga and Pilates, eat cooked foods, drink your warm water with lemon and some ginger, eat your probiotic and your prebiotic foods, and then lastly, cut back on the caffeine. All right, so I hope those are helpful. If you have any super helpful digestion tips, leave it in the comments below. I'm always looking for more myself. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.